Hi, everyone, and welcome to No Kill in Motion. I'm here with Shirley Marsh from Yes Biscuit, Alan Rosenberg from New Jersey Animal Observer, Aubrie Kavanaugh from No Kill Huntsville. I'm Davyd Smith from No Kill Colorado. We're talking today about appointment only at many shelters. During the pandemic, a lot of shelters went to appointment only. Some of them actually just didn't have any, didn't even have any appointments. But a lot of them went to appointment only, and they are thinking that they want to continue doing this. And we're wondering if it's good or bad. I know that I have read out there, and this is anecdotal, I don't have data on it, that they found some shelter workers have found that the animals are much calmer with a lot less people walking around. And it was one of the reasons they said it. I don't know if that's still a good idea. I think it's a good idea to have the public be able to walk around, look at the animals, and meet and greet them. But managed intake is something that we do. Managed intake is something we agree with, and this is really managed outcome. But is it hurting or helping? Right. So let's go around the table. And Alan, I think you have some strong feelings about this, so I'm going to start with you. What do you think about appointment only?
I vehemently oppose it. Before the pandemic, shelters I've known that were appointment only were usually the worst of the worst, the old school pounds that you could even adopt an animal from. The only chance getting out was by a rescue or a needle. So I'm totally against it. When you think about um, no kill sheltering, you go back to the original CAPA bill. What's in the original CAPA bill? Well, there's mandatory operating hours, a certain number of hours, and also weekends and weeknights when working people can adopt. If you make adoptions appointment only, number one, the public is not going to see every animal. In my experience, almost every shelter I've seen does not post every animal on Pet Finder or their website or whatnot. So number one, most animals will not be seen. Number two, I think a lot of people out there, the shelters that are doing this for the wrong reasons. A lot of shelter people, workers, don't like people. So if they're not open, they don't have to deal with people. Also, they don't have to have those pesky people see dirty kennels and complain about things that are going on that are nefarious at the shelter. And this thing about, oh, well, the animals are less stressed, I call BS on that one. Because if you're doing proper enrichment, dog play groups, dog training, cat socialization, all that kind of stuff, the dogs are going to be fine. I've been to shelters where they've done clicker training to keep dogs calm in kennels when people go by, and the dogs are really quiet. So I think it's really something that is going to be done by regressive shelters to avoid scrutiny. And what I've noticed is now in the last few weeks, many shelters, as the economy is fully opening up and people are going back to work, they're overcrowded again. And now a lot of these shelters aren't even open to the public, or very limited ways for the public to get there. So they're going to become even more overcrowded. I know from experience, I was interested in adopting a dog from the New York ACC. Despite the whole metropolitan area being fully opened up, not even masks required in businesses anymore, they're still doing appointment only. And we applied for a dog for an appointment only, and we didn't hear for weeks for them to review our application. So the bottom line is it's not a good policy, and I think it will inevitably lead to overcrowded shelters and regressive shelters being able to avoid scrutiny from the public.
All right, you're moving me there, Alan, on my view on it. That was good. Shirley, what do you think about this appointment only?
Well, a couple of things. As far as hearing that the animals are calmer, what would make the animals calmer? Getting out of the shelter. So if they can say that they are getting animals out of the shelter faster by doing the appointment only, and they are still able to take in every animal in need, then I think that's something to look at. But that doesn't seem to be the case. And I also think it's important to emphasize what Alan said. you're not seeing all the animals if you're just looking at pictures. All the animals are not posted, and although some people can fall in love with a picture, they can't fall in love with a picture if there is no picture. So getting people in the shelter, meeting the animals, seeing them in person is the way that they often get adopted. So I'm all about letting the public have access to their public services. And I think they should be open as much as they possibly can to save as many lives as they possibly can.
All right, Aubrie.
I'm on board with Alan with this one. And, you know, Shirley, you bring up a good point that if there's a shelter that could somehow show, like pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, when they were doing adoption only, show somehow that there was some positive benefit to that, I mean, I'd love to hear about that. But I think, I don't think that that's really the case. I think that they've just taken the concept of pandemic precautions way too far. I mean, I think we can all agree that during the pandemic, that in some cases, there were legitimate reasons for this, because you want to control the number of people you have in the building at every time or at any time. The shelter in Huntsville, I mean, it has a door that you open, and this is now that things have loosened up a little bit. There's a door that you open, and to the right is a counter, but straight ahead, you can just walk to the left to see what they call Cat World, or you can walk forward to see the dog kennels, and you can just go in. During the pandemic, of course, having a restricted flow of people, we need that because we need to see, okay, are people masked? I mean, we want to make sure that we don't have too many in the building at any given time because we want to make sure that people are socially distanced. I can see that. But now that most of that is gone for most of us, I don't see it working at all. It certainly wouldn't work in Huntsville because the shelter is only open, and we've talked about this with city officials ad nauseum. It's only open when people are at work. There's one night a week they're open until 6 o'clock. Woo-hoo, that's it. So it's already difficult enough for people to get down there to either reclaim a lost pet or to consider adopting a new pet. We don't need any more hindrances to that process. And at the end of the day, and I know people don't like to think about it this way, at the end of the day, adopting animals into homes, it's all about making positive introductions. It's all about marketing, okay? And this is a terrible comparison, but I'm gonna make it anyway. If I wanna get a new car, okay, and I call my local dealership, they can either say, hey, come on down, drive around the lot. If you see something you like, let us know. We'll have a conversation. We can talk about what's not out there that's available, foster homes, okay? Or if they say, well, yeah, but you can only come at 2:15 and you're gonna have 15 minutes. I mean, am I really apt to go to that place? No, I'm gonna go to a place that makes it easier for me to look around and see what my options are and make that connection. And again, I know that animals and cars, not the same thing, right? But why do we shouldn't put any roadblocks in the way. If people wanna show up at 9:15 or at 12:20 or at 3:32 after their kids get out of school to find a dog or a cat or a hamster or whatever, it should be an open and welcoming environment. And I think the appointment system just doesn't allow for that to happen.
Okay, well, I was on the fence and I don't think I am anymore. So you guys did a good job there. But this was a great conversation on appointment only. Thank you guys so much. Shirley Marsh from Yes Biscuit, Alan Rosenberg from New Jersey Animal Observer, Aubrie Kavanaugh from No Kill Huntsville. I'm Dave Smith from No Kill Colorado. You've been watching No Kill Emotional. We'll see you next time.